commandments, and also defies intelligence. Religion embodies a deprivation of the spiritual freedom of the human being. Religion is also a brutal, criminal and exploitative enslavement of the human consciousness, reaching from total dependence, serfdom, and a lack of willpower all the way to uncontrolled fanaticism, mental illness, demonic obsession and utter idiocy. The spiritual life of a human being means, in simple terms, life in the spiritual recognition of, and obedience to, creation, its laws and commandments. This alone is the guideline that the Pleiadians adhere to regarding a philosophy of life and a lifestyle tuned into creation. This must be the final goal for humans on Earth as well. Creation means the same as love, life, spirit, truth, wisdom, logic, and intelligence built upon the creative laws and commandments, which are valid and absolutely unchangeable for all time and eternity. Only a life form which recognizes, lives, and obeys the true knowledge of creation, the spirit which results from it, and related laws and commandments of creation, can live the true way and in accordance with creation itself. This means that the life form is living with true knowledge of the truth and with the truth of creation and spirit, in fulfillment of the creative, natural laws and commandments which are valid universally, without any weird and false faith in illogical and anti-intelligent forms of belief. Seventh question with your name, Mr. Meier, 1 Associates, particularly in the USA, the debate concerning your fantastic photos and films. However, only a few people are inquiring into your message. What has gone wrong? Billy, answer. The fact that something has gone awry with the dissemination of the Pleiadian messages is only part of the whole problem. At the same time, the actual mission for the dissemination of the truth concerning the Pleiadians, Lyrians, Vegans, humans on Earth and, especially, the spiritual teachings has been pushed far aside. This information became known only on an almost clandestine level. The teachings of creation, the existence of creation, the creative laws, commandments, and guidelines became sidetracked as well, along with the messages and transmissions from higher levels of spiritual consciousness. The actual cause of the suppression of the truth regarding the Pleiadian mission can be placed primarily with the sensationalistic journalists from all branches of the media who, as a rule, did not dare to print the true meaning of the mission because they were themselves afraid of being attacked. Therefore, from the beginning of the mission, the journalists have been intent only on creating one-sided UFO sensationalism, without drawing any attention to the actual importance of the mission. With UFO and ET information alone, they could sell exciting stories of all types, either positive or negative for that matter. Until now this has not changed, since most branches of the media are still geared to sensationalism instead of reporting information and disseminating the facts of the mission. Of highest priority for the human life form in this mission is the truth of a universal creative philosophy, the existence of creation, its laws and commandments, and the requirement that all forms of life, including humans, be solely responsible for their each and every thought and action. Only through a proper lifestyle can one live and exist to one's fullest potential, when one acknowledges the existence of a universal, all-encompassing creation as the universal consciousness, through obedience to, and the use of, creation's laws and commandments. The second explanation for the lack of a large-scale dissemination of the truth, the mission, and the messages can be found in the fact that an American, Pleiadians, had been given a commission to translate the texts of the messages and mission, etc., into English. They were supposed to be published at his publishing house, Genesis 3, founded expressly for this purpose. However, Pleiadians failed thoroughly. Just like the journalists of the media, he only dwelled on the facts pertaining to the extraterrestrials and to my ascertainably unique films, slides, metal samples, and photo material, etc. It is indeed true that he had scientific analyses made on my entire material, the films, slides, and photos which I had been permitted to take, and the metal samples which I had been given by the Pleiadians. Testing proved that all my material was absolutely genuine, was no fraud, and must be considered unique worldwide. The test reports, in turn, created headaches, especially for the sectarians and quasi-UFO researchers of all types in Germany, Switzerland, and in America, where the information had no place in their false, anti-truth concept. The elders published 2 large-format, color, pictorial books with many of my beamship photos and corresponding texts, and disseminated them all over the world. However, he presented information in the books purely from the UFO angle, without mentioning the actual mission, spiritual aims, related texts, books, and messages. Hence, the importance of the mission remained completely neglected because the UFO ballyhoo alone created enough of a stir to make a profit. 8th question. You have many enemies, also particularly in UFO circles. What do they have against you? Billy answer. The circles of today's so-called ufologists and contact persons consist mostly of people who do not wish to concern themselves with ufology and truth on a responsible level. Instead, many pursue a bogus study of ufology, bragging and lying about phony contacts, because they want to feed and satisfy their lust for sensationalism, their sectarianism, petty jealousies, know-it-all attitudes and pompousness, their inferiority complexes, and often enough their ego trips. In addition to these others are the alleged blessed ones, the God/Saint/Jesus delegates, apostles, God and angel messengers, chosen few, channelers, and others with supposed extrasensory talents, enlightened ones, seers, revelators, unhealers by their own grace, etc. These people are part of the world's population who manage to charm, exploit and lie to the gullible and easily swayed individuals all over the earth. Truthfully, 99.979% of all of the allegations by these charlatans are based on deliberate fraud, lies, and deceit, including those purportedly contacted by UFOs, ETs, by those on the other side, and from other dimensions. These fabrications may also originate from chronic or sporadic schizophrenia or similar mental illnesses. Indeed, of 1 million claims concerning contacts, enlightenment, being the chosen ones, transmission of messages, and so forth, only 203 are communications of truth and reality, while 999,797 of 1 million claims are deceptions and lies of some sort or another. My enemies are jealous of my contacts with the Pleiadians and feel they would have been a far superior contact person in comparison to me. However, generally they are not only poorly informed about me and my contacts, but also they really do not have a clue as to the related mission and the existence and functioning of spiritual levels, energies, laws and commandments, as well as to their truth and mode of action. Not to mention that they do not have the vaguest idea regarding the existence of creation, its laws and commandments, or the correlation between creation, the spirit, and the various levels and life forms. These enemies do not consider that my contacts have not only entailed fame for which they are lusting with all their egos but also serious problems. For example, altogether 11 as of 1998, there have been 13 assassination attempts, which have been led against me. Furthermore, these people do not consider that they would be treated with the same hostility they are now showing me. Most of all, they neglect to even contemplate that I have not only been connected with the mission and its fulfillment for many decades, but for numerous earlier lives, that I have been previously instructed in the elements of strict discipline, that I have had to educate myself in years of toil, with outside help, and that I have had to be able to take over this mission at the designated time, to carry it forward, and to fulfill it. My enemies see only that they cannot play a role in this mission no matter how hard they try. This stirs their envy and hatred on one hand, their frustrations on the other, for they themselves cannot publicize their crazy and wild speculations and sectarian whims on a grand scale. It should be noted, however, that I have no enemies whatsoever in all those many groups of seriously interested people who, with honest and enthusiastic intent, deal with UFO matters and teachings. Furthermore, they envy my UFO photographs of beam ships verified to be the best in the world, films, slides, metal and crystal samples, etc., and call them fakes. This is consistently the case with pseudoscientists, dishonest critics, and all those who do not want to accept the truth, for sectarian, religious, political, pseudoscientific, or other reasons. A further cause for animosity toward me is the fact that I uncover frauds, liars, schizophrenics, psychopaths, and cheats when they discuss UFOs, contacts with extraterrestrials, contacts with those on the other side, and in other dimensions. Animosity also occurs with swindlers who are considered blessed, and other super freaks, etc. I distance myself from these people, and am not afraid to talk with frankness about my knowledge and experiences with them. Of course, all of the frauds, liars, and cheats now maintain that they are part of those 203 of 1 million who are telling the truth, but they do not realize that they are digging themselves even deeper into their lies. Ninth question: many famous people came to see you, such as Shirley MacLaine, Herman Van Veen, and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, among others. What did they want to know, and what did you pass along to them? Billy: answer. The reasons why famous people visit me are different from one person to the next. Some people want to see me because they are hoping to reconfirm their personal philosophies, while others come with an honest, personal interest in the mission, the teachings, and contacts. Others visit me hoping they can tie in their sectarian and false assumptions with the truthful spiritual teachings, to gain more importance for themselves in front of others. Shirley MacLaine came to the center for a 5-day visit, from October 2-7, 1981. She had with her solo a dark-skinned man, Lee Elders, and his wife. During this time she really plied me daily, for several hours, with questions concerning my mission, the creative and spiritual teachings, universal philosophy, the spiritual and creative laws and commandments, along with their mode of action and reaction, and so forth. She very neatly wrote down everything we discussed, including all my teachings, and recorded them on audio tape at the same time. She published her subsequent book, out on a limb, apparently stimulated by my teachings of the long-awaited disclosures. However, she did not stick whatsoever to the information, truths, and teachings. Instead, she grossly changed and falsified the teachings and the truth until, ultimately, it had no resemblance to the creative truth and spiritual teachings anymore. The teaching became pure fantasy, born from sources that are on a collision course with the truth. They are founded on complete ignorance of the truth because they stem from widely spread sectarian false teachings. After having made many wild claims, it appears Shirley MacLaine had second thoughts and felt uneasy about them, but did not have the courage to tell the truth and to describe her experiences the way they really took place. With a great deal of imagination, she not only changed my name and the location of our conversations and teachings in her book to South America, but gave me a Spanish-sounding, false name. She blew the conversations and proffered teachings out of proportion until they became an untrue, unreal story. It seems she was driven by an urge for fame beyond death. She dreamed up alleged knowledge and information, teachings concerning the spirit lessons, rebirth and former lives, which have no basis in the creative spiritual truth or any truth. I did not give her the slightest hint regarding any of her previous lives, personalities she might have been, or spirit form. Such claims are purely fictional. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a well-known doctor from Switzerland now living in the United States, who visited me for one afternoon with her sister, has a similar attitude as Shirley MacLaine. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross came with a preconceived sectarian conviction, like Shirley MacLaine, regarding God, reincarnation, life after death, etc., and it appears that she was hoping I would corroborate her faith in the prevailing format. She apparently was trying to amalgamate her false religion-oriented, untenable conclusions concerning previous lives, life after death, and a spirit guide who is directing her, with the spirit teachings to get a solid foundation for her ghost stories. This attempt failed thoroughly, because the truth is, and remains, the truth for all eternity. Truth cannot be adjusted to some crazy ideas, visions, intrigues or false teachings, and cannot be intermingled with them. The only prominent visitor amongst those who contacted me, who obtained all texts and information without later bartering them off or somehow falsifying them, is Herman van Veen. In the songs he composes one finds an honest and sincere engagement and exposition of spiritual teachings, truth, the creative laws and commandments, and life. He is one of the few famous people, of the many who contacted me, who cannot be accused of any negative, reprehensible actions regarding the misuse of the teachings, truth, etc. The difference between a well-known personality and another so-called normal person is that it is much easier for the celebrity to present his/her false or correct opinion to the broad public, and that the public will believe him or her quicker, and to a greater extent, than would be the case with a regular mortal. I can only give celebrities of this world the same message which I have offered to all others. It concerns the teachings of the existence of creation, the spirit, and the creative laws and commandments which lead towards true humanitarianism through truth, nature, spiritual teachings, peace, freedom, love, wisdom, and knowledge, via the meaning and purpose of life, guiding us towards the goal of all evolution, which is the fulfillment of life, the perfection of all teachings, and oneness with the creative spirit. 10th question. There are now all types of reports concerning extraterrestrial activities and contacts, for example with the Ashtar Commando, AMO, or the Galactic Union. What do the Pleiadians have to say about that? Billy, answer all reports and claims of alleged contacts by humans on Earth with the extraterrestrials of the so-called Galactic Union, a group called AMO, or with the notorious Ashtar Commando, are lies, fraud, deceptions, and schizophrenic delusions, as is the case with any kind of channeling, and further countless horror stories of alleged contacts. Over 1 million allegations on alleged contacts with extraterrestrials and beings from other dimensions, etc. Only 203 are consistent with the truth. In other words, there is approximately 1 real contact per 5,000 false claims. There is a sure way to distinguish truthfulness in these reports. Anything that is based on religious, not to mention sectarian messages, is a lie, deception, schizophrenia, or the fantasy of a sick mind. True love and the spiritual teachings know of no religion in our cult religious interpretation, but only of the all-encompassing, all-universal valid truths of creation and the spirit. Regarding Ashtar, I would like to say that his name on Earth is a pseudonym for the extraterrestrial rebel and criminal Erezek, who, in earlier times, was already operating on Earth with his unlawful, criminal activities. A long time ago, Lyrian, Vigan, and Pleiadian security forces stripped him of any technical and spiritual means of travel in other dimensions, irretrievably distant, and exiled him, so neither he nor his henchmen could get into contact with Earth humans, or any other life form in our space/time mode, immaterial or spiritual form. Today Erezek alias Ashtar and his followers have tasks which are defined, guided, and monitored by Pleiadians, Lyrians, and Vegans. These tasks, however, do not involve any activities or contacts on Earth. Erezek alias Ashtar was killed in 1983, when he attacked Askit's people in the Dal universe. All contradictory claims are lies, fantasies, deception, schizophrenia, etc. 11th question. If you had to paraphrase the Pleiadian message in a few words, what would it be? Billy, answer: a turnaround toward a true lifestyle, in harmony with the creative laws and commandments and guidelines, has to be effected by and for humans on Earth so they can turn their backs on the misguided, false lifestyles and false philosophies which had been given to them by the ancient Lyrians and Vegans. Humans must also halt their degeneration in all areas of evil, their deplorable state of affairs, false religions, and aberrations of all types, etc., which they so willingly, cheerfully, irresponsibly, and carelessly have embraced. The answer to an unasked question: what aptitudes and prerequisites must one possess for establishing contact with the Pleiadians, higher spirit forms, and for the fulfillment of the mission? One's pursuit of the noble and difficult task of realizing the mission consists of a solid base of contacts with the extraterrestrials, with beings of other superior spiritual levels, in comparison to ours, and, as well, with even higher spiritual levels. At the same time, one must serve as a harbinger, recognizing and disseminating the truth, and, additionally, be prepared for the duties of accepting other extremely important tasks. These tasks require that anyone carrying forth the mission have a very high level of moral rectitude and maturity. Of prime importance is the prerequisite that one has absolute integrity and loyalty to the mission, creation, its laws and commandments, and to other human beings. In addition to these two outstanding characteristics, one must possess the indispensable traits of trustworthiness, discretion, responsibility, the ability to focus on a particular goal and pursue it, and a sound, upright character. Very important, likewise, are one's faithfulness to creation, its laws and commandments, and to its spiritual guidelines, duties, and realities. Equally important are the general tasks pertaining to the evolution of mankind, that have been selected by creation for the benefit of human beings. It is essential that one possess these traits, along with an unswerving commitment and the total, faithful, daily implementation of all the laws of creation, its commandments, guidelines, duties, and rights. These tasks must serve as a model for all human beings and must be applicable to the human material body life form in every imaginable situation. The willingness and determination for one's fulfillment of the required obligations are based upon one's reverence for creation, the duties and tasks it has designated for human beings, and the universal love toward every creation and, indeed, all their creations. The willingness and determination then form the indispensable base upon which further characteristics, qualifications, and requirements rest when one takes on the mission as a prophet and herald. Other essential traits relating to one's fulfillment of the mission and to the personal realization of the laws and commandments of creation include total fearlessness, integrity, steadfastness and patience, compassion and leniency, enormous tactfulness, empathy, extensive inner greatness, and modesty in all areas where one has an interest. Without having these personal and characteristic qualities, it is incomprehensible for anyone to consider, even remotely, an attempt to fulfill the mission. Should one lack, or not have fully developed, by chance, any of these traits, there is far too great a danger of being incapable of withstanding the hostilities directed against oneself. Not only are the doubts about one's personal loyalty and integrity a part of this persecution, but there are also direct and indirect attacks on one's life and honor as a mission-bearer. There are, too, numerous means and occasions for others to sweet-talk, wheedle, or blackmail secret some very important knowledge from one, at a time when Earth humans are not yet prepared for this information, nor will they be for a long time to come. Therefore, by inadvertently divulging this knowledge one can actually cause severe harm and, possibly, even induce the complete destruction of the Earth. These extremely distinguished human and personal attributes and strengths are enhanced and magnified through one's never-ending desire for greater knowledge, one's quest to explore the unknown, and one's willingness to learn new concepts. These attributes are extremely important as they pertain to the spiritual and universal creative laws and commandments, to knowledge, and to all life experiences, and to the resulting conclusions one draws from them for further knowledge. One's willingness to learn, and to direct one's intelligence first and foremost to spiritual and creative questions, is infinitely superior to that of learning and studying at the material intelligence level, such as the levels required of scientists and research technicians in the course of their material body activities. One's intelligence and zest for learning must have already evolved to an elevated level, From can spring forth one's ability to assimilate in detail the highest creative and spiritual truths, the various universal creative and spiritual guidelines, doctrines and commandments, and the laws of nature, wisdom and truths. One must have the fortitude to determine all these things without the help from any other human beings, be that from their knowledge or expertise, or from information gleaned from books. One's quest to learn also encompasses the autodidactic study of all abnormalities of human behavior, the illnesses affecting the consciousness, and possible consequences of delusions, manias, sporadic and chronic changes of the consciousness, including schizophrenia, etc. One must ascertain these problems, and bring them to light without being influenced by corruption or competition, as when they are used to gain unfair advantage. All zeal to learn, however, is useless without one's clear vision of human beings, their motives for taking certain actions, and one's closeness to reality with complete self-control of thought and consciousness. The self-control one possesses must be self-evident and can only be gained through arduous self-scrutiny, where every iota of one's thoughts is kept completely safe and under control, regardless of outside influences. One must not allow even the minutest negative vibration of thought and emotion to radiate or become noticeable to others in any way. A totally neutral, unbiased attitude towards all forms of life at all times must be achieved, which, ultimately, becomes one's second nature. Self-control, accompanied by the complete mastery of primary and mental telepathy, is the foremost requirement one must possess before becoming a suitable contactee for the Pleiadians and other higher spirit forms. Compared to Earth beings, the Pleiadians are advanced in their spiritual development by approximately 30 million years and, therefore, they are far superior in all aspects of human evolution as well. For example, they have mastered primary telepathy, which Earth humans are only now just beginning to discover and learn. The Pleiadians are occupied by, and make use of, the infinite reaches of high levels of mental telepathy. The Pleiadians' mental vibrations also have a high frequency and intensity mainly due to their superior evolution, their extensive spiritual education, and their faithfulness to the laws of creation. This often results in their being unable to contact Earth beings, whose development runs parallel to normal terrestrial evolution. When on Earth, the Pleiadians find themselves assaulted by the basic and crude vibrations of Earth humans, which can cause unanticipated consequences to the space travelers' bodies and lives. Moreover, the Pleiadians will be considered irresistible magnets by Earth humans, who, because of the strong attraction, could fall into total servitude and dependency upon them. Pleiadians have an instant intolerance towards the average Earth human's vibrations. If contacts were to take place with unprepared Earth humans, they would develop a strong dependency upon Pleiadians. Earth humans would adopt a one-sided urge to fulfill the laws and the commandments of creation, and this would entail going far beyond the capacity of Earth humans' tolerance levels. Unfortunately, Earth humans are not capable of fending off the magnetism that would pull them towards this harmony with creation, since humans, at this moment in time, are sorely unprepared for it. Earth humans possess few, if any, of the qualities that are indispensable for the bearer of the mission. Earthlings have not yet developed the appropriate attributes that would provide them with the required strength to counteract complete surrender to the Pleiadians, who enjoy far superior spirit levels. However, by surrendering to the extraterrestrials in this manner, Earth humans would become complete strangers within their own environment and would be, therefore, unable to survive on Earth. From these facts it becomes evident that a specific and extremely harsh and grueling education is required for those of us on the planet Earth, whose spirit forms have been chosen to carry forth the mission by the Pleiadians and their advanced advisors. In fact, a few Earth humans have already been selected to function as contactees. This has transpired because of their past spirit form experience over thousands of years, and through their proven reliability in handling similar missions while in former lives. As part of the performance of their contactee tasks, the selected Earth humans have the duty of conveying and disseminating truth while, at the same time, carrying out other duties for the fulfillment of the mission. Only one human being, whose spirit form was called Nokodamyon before returning to the material world from the spirit level of Arahatatthasatha, has the prerogative of accepting the duties for the mission's fulfillment. Interestingly, these duties were bestowed on him in very ancient times, so as to allow him to fulfill them now. In the truest sense of the word, he can call himself prophet before all those other Earth humans, who have embarked on similar tasks and missions. The end.